Alright, so I'm on the road now, and I just passed a sign saying that there's a roadblock, road construction up here, and they're stopping cars for as long as an hour. So I could be stuck here for quite some time before I get through on this road. And I'm very grateful that today I'm not planning to cycle very far. So we'll see if I get lucky and hit this at the right time or if I get stuck. Oh, we're moving. It looks like we're moving. Yes, I hit this at like the perfect time. All right, I made it through the construction area. I wasn't able to videotape because it was really bumpy and lots going on. But it wasn't very long, it was pretty short. I got through with no problems. This is a nice road, there's hardly anyone out. One car passing me every 10 minutes or so. Really nice. Whew. I haven't seen one of these in a long time. Let's see if this works. Ugh. And press the button. Yep, the lights are flashing. Okay, here we go. I pressed the button back there to let the cars know that there's a biker on the road. That's kind of nice. So this road that I'm cycling on right now is called the Bigfoot Scenic Byway. And this is the part of the world where Bigfoot is most commonly known to live, I guess. There's more Bigfoot sightings in this part of the world than anywhere else. And after spending some time here, I can see why. The forests are just deep and dark and scary. When I was in 6th grade, I remember doing a school report about Bigfoot, and I watched like every documentary that had ever been done on Bigfoot at the time, and there's been a whole lot more since. But that really scared me for several years afterwards of going into the woods, especially by myself. Of course, now I've spent years and years of my life camping by myself in the deep, dark, scary woods, so you'd think I'd be used to it. But it's still a little scary to think about sometimes that there are bears and mountain lions and potentially unknown animals living in the woods. Whew. Now that I'm out of town here, the road's going uphill, but it's nice. In the shade and scenic. On this plaque behind me, it says that down here is a cast of a Bigfoot footprint, and it says to compare your foot to the size of the Bigfoot track. So I'm gonna do that now. So on the left is the Bigfoot track that was supposedly found nearby here, and this is my footprint, which is, well, my feet are size 12. I think it's 46 otherwise, but yeah, size 12 US. So I made it to Willow Creek. I'm just gonna lock my bike up here, go inside and get 2 days worth of food to carry with me up this hill. We're in the final stretch here. So I went to the supermarket and filled up my bags with a bunch of food, hopefully enough to get me through the next couple of days. I also went to Subway Sandwich, which I never eat at. That's the thing about bicycle touring, like you are forced to kind of eat foods that you would normally not otherwise eat. And Subway is one of those things for me. I never eat it when I'm at home, but I do occasionally eat it out on the road. And today is one of those days, so I'm gonna eat this whole thing before I start cycling up the mountain. Now supposedly, there's a campground about 2 miles up the road, and I'm hoping to stay there tonight. So hopefully it's open, hopefully they have hiker-biker sites so I don't have to pay a fortune just to stay there for the evening. We'll see. So just gonna eat this sandwich and then I'll be on my way. So 2 days ago I was climbing a big hill, and yesterday I got to the bottom of that hill and was cycling now in this valley along the Bigfoot Scenic Byway. Well, now to get back to Eureka, I gotta go back over this hill again. So now that's what I'm doing, is going back up into the mountains, and I'll basically be climbing for the next day or so. It's 45 miles back to Eureka, all uphill. Well, I made it to the Boise Creek Campground, which is where I was planning to stay tonight. And of course, the place is closed. Behind me here, that is the gate. I crossed over the gate saying don't come in here, basically. Came in anyways. I just wanted to read the board. It's $10 to camp here normally, but the gate's closed and I don't know why. There's no one here, and I'm kind of thinking of just camping here, to be honest. But I don't really want to get in trouble with the National Park Service, so I'm trying to figure out what to do. The problem is, if I keep going up the road, it's really, really steep, and there might not be anywhere else to camp, just in the forest or whatever. So I'm kind of thinking of just looking around here and seeing if I can maybe camp somewhere close by, but just outside of the campground. Water station. Looks like a nice campground. I hate it when there's a campground and it's closed. Like, what's the point of it? When is it open? I don't get it. It's sunny today. It's not like it's snow covered or anything. Why can't I camp here? Ugh. Frustrating. This is what I like so much about my bike tour last summer, where I was biking across Sweden, Finland, and Norway. They have places like this everywhere, and they're totally free, and there's no sign saying don't camp here, blah 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 blah, 100 rules, etc. They're like encouraging you to come out and camp and make a fire and spend time outdoors and go fishing. I don't get why we can't do that here. Well, I kind of do. I mean, we have more people. Okay, fine. But geez Louise, I just hate it. It's frustrating. Makes me mad.
So now that I've got you here, I've got my camp all set up, and I just finished cycling the Bigfoot Scenic Byway here in Northern California. I thought this would be a good time for me to talk about things that go bump in the night. So a lot of people ask me if I've ever had animals or even people come up to my tent during the middle of the night and try to bother me or get inside my tent or something like that, attack me or whatever. And the truth is, no, I've never had a person come up to my tent, but I have had animals come right up to my tent. And in fact, I forget what year it was, 2014 I believe. I was cycling across northern Poland, and I was in an area where I knew that there were wild boar. You could see the boars dig down into the ground and they make a mess of the whole ground. So I could see that there were boars nearby, but I was in my tent, and for whatever reason, I hid all of my food outside of the tent because I knew that these boars were around. I hung it up in a tree or whatever. But there was this one stray thing of cheese that I left in one of my bags, and I only found it right before I was going to go to sleep. So instead of getting out of my tent and bringing the bag down and putting the cheese in the bag and then going back inside my tent, I was too lazy, and I just put the cheese outside my tent, like under the rainfly and on top of all my other stuff. And during the middle of the night, I could hear a very large animal slowly approaching my tent, and I was fully awake at this point, you know, wondering what is out there, because you're inside your tent, it's pitch black, you can't see anything. And I mean, I could see, you know, a few inches in front of me inside the tent. That was about it. But anyway, so I'm sitting there very, very quiet. It gets really like the calm before the storm. And all of a sudden, the rain fly on my tent lifts up just a little bit, and I can see a wild boar's nose basically inside the rainfly of my tent, just about a foot or two away from me. It grabbed the cheese right off the top of my bag and then went running away, and I could hear it running off in the distance. And it actually grabbed the cheese and like another little plastic bag that I had next to it. And so in the morning I found the plastic bag way far away from my tent, but the cheese was long gone. So that's probably the closest and scariest thing that has ever happened to me while I'm camping in my tent. I've had other incidences, not while I was camping necessarily, like 2003, I was biking from North Carolina to Maine up the east coast of the United States, and I was cycling in the state of Virginia. In fact, I had just crossed the border from North Carolina to Virginia, and I was cycling through kind of a remote farmland area, and it was a dirt road. And I came around the bend, like a left-hand turn around this bend, and off to my left-hand side, just off, it was like a wooded area, very similar to this. Just off to my left, I saw what I thought at first was a big golden dog, like a golden retriever or something like that. You know, you're cycling, you look over, there's a big animal over there. And I was in Virginia, I assumed it was a dog. But I scared the animal, whatever it was, and it jumped up and started running. It just happened to be running in the same direction as my bike, so it was running parallel to me about 10 feet away. And once it started running, I saw that the tail on this thing was about, 3 feet long. It was huge. And that's when I realized that this wasn't a dog, this was a mountain lion, and I was looking it straight in the face. It immediately kind of took off to its left, and I went to the right, and it disappeared very, very quickly in the trees. That thing was fast. But that is by far the scariest thing that's ever happened to me on any of my bike tours, was that run-in with the mountain lion. Other times I've had like deer come up to my tent. That's not scary. I've had raccoons, which can be actually scary. I've had like 3 raccoons come up to my tent at nighttime all at once and trying to get in my tent. I had food in there at the time. What else? In Africa one time, I was out in, I don't know where I was. I was out in the middle of nowhere. That's where I was. And I was in my tent, and it was early morning, and I could hear growling outside my tent, like like that. And of course, I'm in Africa, I'm thinking lions, hyenas, what could that be, you know? And when you're in a tent, there's no windows, so you can't really see what's going on. And so I'm like trying to be quiet because I don't want to draw any attention to myself, undo the zipper, and I finally peek out, and what it was these giant antelope. Like there's a whole bunch of different types of antelope, right? This was a big antelope. I don't know what it was exactly, but I guess when it saw me, I scared it, and it started making these growling noises, which were very, very similar to what you might expect to hear from a lion. So yeah, those are just some of these scary moments that have happened to me on my bike tours. But I honestly think that if I were ever to see a Bigfoot, or what people describe as a Bigfoot, even if it was just a bear that I thought looked like Bigfoot, I would like seriously be so scared. It's like my biggest fear out here on my bike tours is like seeing Bigfoot. Like there are people that die from shock, and I think that's what would happen to me if I ever saw Bigfoot in real life. Anyways, that's it guys. Thanks for watching my video today. Stay tuned for the next one, and I hope to see you out on the road sometime soon. Bye.
All right guys, so that was the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to help me continue to make more videos like this one for the Bicycle Touring Pro YouTube channel, there are 3 things that you can do right now to really help me out. So number 1, the first thing, tell your friends, family members, coworkers, and loved ones about Bicycle Touring Pro. If you know somebody that would enjoy this video, please share it with them. That would really mean a lot to me. Second of all, buy a copy of my book, The Bicycle Touring Blueprint. This is my 400-page guide that teaches you how to go bicycle touring anywhere in the world. So when you buy the book, you're not only helping yourself learn how to bike tour, but you're also helping Bicycle Touring Pro fund the website and these videos and the podcast and everything that I do as the Bicycle Touring Pro. Finally, if you really want to help me out, consider making a financial donation using the link in the video description down below. The website address is bicycletouringpro.com/donate. Any donation of any size really goes a long way towards helping me continue to fund the videos that you see here on the Bicycle Touring Pro YouTube channel. So those are 3 things right now that you can do to help me make more videos in the future. And if you do any of those 3, I would really, really appreciate it. Once again, guys, I am Darren Alff from bicycletouringpro.com. Thank you so much for watching, commenting, and sharing my videos, and I hope to see you out on the road sometime soon. Bye, guys. Bye. Bye.